So in this video, we're going to talk about how to start a Christian life coaching business, but we're going to begin looking at the Bible and looking at the gifts God's given us and the question of, do you have a gift of encouragement, or is God calling you to actually be a coach? Very different questions. Question 2 is, before you put your thousands of hours and thousands of dollars into coaching and developing your certification, is what are the 3 questions you should be asking about how you might want to position yourself as a coach? And even if you get certified and you have your certification, you've got your 100 hours, you still have some questions. And many coaches never scale past getting that certification and just a couple little clients here or there. So we're going to hit on all those points in this video. So stick with me, and by the end, you will have a better chance at building a Christian life coaching business if that's what God is calling you to build. So let's begin looking at the evidence of calling, and we're going to start in 1 Corinthians chapter 12. So read it with me. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, let him prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, let him serve. Teaching, then teach. And if it is to encourage, there's the word, then give encouragement. And that's a verse coming straight out of the Apostle Paul's mouth right into the church in Corinth about the dynamic gifts in the body of Christ. Now, you might have the gift of encouragement. There's Proverbs that also talks about a wise man draws things out of the deep waters in someone's heart, right? But to do that is a very different skill set as a coach, right, and just someone who wants to give encouragement. And so you have to ask yourself the question at the beginning, God, have you given me a gift of encouragement? A, you could take a spiritual gifts test to do that. And then B, what is the difference between encouraging people and how I can coach people? And so we're going to talk about the demand that a coach has to have to be able to truly be a life coach or a career coach or whatever kind of coach you are looking at in this video. So let's unpack that a little further about what it means to be a coach. So an important part of becoming a coach is getting trained. Again, this is not just sitting over coffee and hearing someone's woes and then telling them a bunch of stuff or advice, right? If you go and get an ICF certified training program, it's going to put you through an internationally recognized program around how to be a coach and what are the principles and practices of asking open-ended questions, of truly coaching someone and helping them come up with answers to life's hard questions. So first thing is you're going to want to find a training. And next thing you're going to want to do is find a training that gives you the right level of repetition and coaching hours so you have the right level of certification. So at a minimum, you're probably going to want to look at the Associate Certified Coach or the ACC level, which is 100 hours. You can consider a 500-hour professional level certification, but that's the first step, is you want to go and get certified so you can be excellent as a coach. Now we're going to talk about how, as a coach, can you prepare and position your services in a really, really busy, crowded market. I mean, there are tons of coaching offerings out there. You probably have done the research, right? You've looked around. And the challenging part is, the first question is, what kind of customer do you want to serve? Who are they? What is their challenge? Are they a business leader or an executive? And they're going to want a high level of coaching around the complexities of navigating and managing a business and maybe managing that with their life and their faith? Or do you want to work with a homemaker, or maybe they're just struggling being a parent and they want life coaching on how to be a better parent? Or maybe you've got a younger person that you demographic. You want to find the up and coming future leaders of tomorrow and coach them to success. That's a great form of making disciples, right? But the tricky part is, which type of audience do you want to serve? The number one mistake we see a lot of people make is, well, I'll just coach everybody. And when you serve everybody, you really serve nobody. So now here's the second all-important positioning question as a life coach, career coach, is what is the pain that person is feeling? So now that you've identified your, what we would call your ideal client profile, your ICP, what does that person feel? What is the pain that they feel? What keeps them up at night? Again, if you don't know what these pains are, we'd strongly encourage you to go interview a bunch of them. We'll talk more about this in future videos. But for today, the main thing to understand here is, what is the pain? Can you articulate their pain? Can you articulate it succinctly that when you say it, people start nodding, they go, oh yeah, I feel that, I know that, I can relate with that. That's the second positioning question as a coach. And now that you've understood who they are, what their pain is, what is your unique offering? What is your special, signature coaching model that's gonna help unlock somebody or help someone that's stuck get unstuck, or bring them from, I'm in a really terrible spot in my life or my career or my relationships, to a flourishing one? What is the signature model that you're gonna use to get somebody there? If you don't know what that is, you probably need to spend some time developing that. Now, maybe you do have a pattern or a pathway of how you wanna position that. And so I'd encourage you to articulate that. Share that with some friends. See how they can relate with your articulation of your signature coaching model. All right, now we're gonna get to the scale question. This is gonna help you discern, do I just wanna have a little side hobby with maybe 3 or 4 people that I just wanna intentionally disciple and develop as a coach? Do I actually wanna build a business and maybe even leave my day job or make this my day job? Those are 2 radically different questions. And if you haven't really gotten into this and haven't even gotten paid for coaching yet, you probably do want to get out there and get some reps under your belt. When you get those 100 hours, some of those hopefully are paid clients, right? And you're getting a feel for the rhythm, and you're getting a feel for what it's like to sit with people and be with them in their struggles and their pains, and also to call them to greater questions and to call them into something higher. So you need to discern from a scale question, is this going to stay small and it's okay that it's on the side? Or do I really need to batten down the hatches and think about, how am I going to grow this? That is a really important question. A lot of coaches, after they get all that certification and the hours, it's kind of an afterthought. And let me tell you, you've got to think about that before you make the several $1,000 investment and before you spend tons and tons of your time, is think about the outcome of where you might want to take this and how God might have you develop this business. And so if you're listening to this and you're thinking, Patrick, I think I do want to scale it. I think I do maybe want to do this full time. I really get excited when I'm talking with people and I'm helping them see the vision of the future and pulling them into a better life for themselves, or a better situation, or a more faithful walk with Jesus, all those kinds of things. Then you got to get serious about, how are you going to market yourself? So regardless of your growth path, I'd be happy to show you a playbook for how to actually test and validate and see if a business is even something you do want to scale. There's a lot of questions that go into that, right? And I've done this many, many times over the years. And if you want, I can open up the pathway of what are those 5 steps that would get you to a point of knowing, is this something that you want to go deep in and you want to invest lots of time, energy, and money into? Or is this something that is going to stay something that you do for fun with friends, more as a passion project more than a business? That's totally okay. But if you want to check that out, you can see that in the next video here, called How to Grow a Redemptive Kingdom Business in 5 Steps.